And now, after years of planning, sweating, and going broke, here is the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
I'll alert the media.
Why they would give this man a podcast is anyone's guess.
Then there is what could only be a bizarre coincidence or something else.
Welcome to the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Country music and fine moonshine. Finally, a podcast that lets it all hang out.
Let's level with America.
Got your boots? Ready for some whiskey?
These boots are made for walking.
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
And now, the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
Hey everyone, Jim here, Boots and Whiskey Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the show. Today we're doing a double shot Tuesday. We have released an episode with Maddie True, and now our dear friend Aubrie Sellers is on the show. We're doing a double shot because my timing is just terrible. I can do the episodes, I can do all that, but when it comes to trying to plan them out, golly. But Aubrie is here because she's going to be here in our area, in our stratosphere on Saturday. For those of you that don't know, Aubrie is a singer, songwriter. She has her own solo stuff that is absolutely incredible. But she does this really cool thing where she sings with one of the biggest country acts coming up right now in Parker McCollum. I wouldn't say she's a backup singer for Parker. She is an additional singer to Parker. Honestly, this is going to be our second time seeing her with him. And the first time we saw him, he was very complimentary. I don't know if that's the word, but very enthusiastic about her being there. And the two of them pair really, really well together. So we're excited to see that again. And that's why I wouldn't say she's a backup, because it's not that at all. I don't think, but who am I? So she'll be here at Gillette Stadium this Saturday. They're opening for Chris Stapelton and the king himself, George Strait. So we look forward to getting to see Aubrie in person again, maybe getting a picture, having a drink or something. But anyway, Aubrie Sellers is here. There's a lot of cool things about Aubrie Sellers that I bet you don't know. So why don't you stick around, listen to the episode. When it's done, go check out her music, go check out everything that she's done. She's the real deal, man, and she's doing it on her own terms, and I love that. And you'll understand more about that once you get into the episode, because she's cool. She's a badass, and that's it. That's all I can say about it, because she is awesome. So if it's your first time here, welcome. We lovingly call this the shit show, so welcome to that. We do this all just conversation, like it is what it is, like two friends just hanging out. If it's not your first time here, you already know all that. So thank you for being here. It means the world to me. So sit back, relax, enjoy Aubrie Sellers. And we saw a couple of shows this weekend. We'll tell you about those. On the flip side of this, reviews for those should be out soon on our website. For all of our social media needs, it's Boots and Whiskey Podcast, and it's bootsandwhiskyentertainment.com is the website. We got some cool t-shirts. Go check them out if you want. If not, I don't care. Enjoy. Cheers. More or less, welcome to the shit show.
All right, I'm down.
We're gonna have fun, and
right when you said that, my cat came out from under the bed, so she loves
she's
that.
Like, what are we doing?
I tried to get her out of here. I tried to get my cat out of here, but if she starts meowing, I apologize. I'll try to grab her.
It's fine. We've had worse. We've had way worse shit happen here.
Okay.
100%. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice to see you closer than from hundreds of people away.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, we kind of honest to God, we saw you and Parker at URI. When was that? Earlier this year in the winter.
Don't ask me. I can't remember a specific date.
It's fine. That's fine. It's fine. And like, we heard you sing with him, and it was like, this girl's got to have a story.
Aw.
So that's what you're here. That's what you're here for. This is about you. Like,
Thank
I'm not
you.
gonna lie to you. I know a little bit about you. Obviously, we've talked about it through Instagram, right? And
Mhm.
sorry, but we're gonna have to get there.
Okay.
But I want like, who are you? What are you doing? Like, how did you get wrapped into all this shit? Especially with like Parker. Like, that's not just somebody to latch onto.
Totally. You know what's funny is I was thinking about that today. Like, I think it was November of last year that I got a random call from his manager. And I swear to you, I had never heard an inkling that he wanted a background singer on the road or anything. And I saw his manager's name pop up and I knew he managed him. And my brain was immediately like, that's what he's going to ask me. I don't know how I knew that. And that's what he asked me. And I was like, honestly, I've never thought about that before, going on the road with anyone to sing backgrounds. Because obviously I'm an artist and
Sure.
been doing that. I have 2 records out. But yeah. And I was just like, you know what? That sounds fun. Yeah. So I think so. And he was like, I just wanted to see if it was something you would even consider. And if so, like, I'll have Parker call you. And that's how it happened. And then I started officially going out with them in January. And it's been really fun. Actually, we had production rehearsals today. And Parker was like, I can't believe you're still here.
Yeah.
I was like, I love it. I'm having so much fun. It's honestly, like, people don't sometimes believe this because of the job I have, but I'm very introverted. And so being able to sort of just do background vocals has been really fun for me.
Really? No, like, because
Yeah.
that was what I was going to ask you. Like, having your own sort of like career, right? How has that affected your, I guess, your stuff, your solo stuff?
Yeah, it's funny timing because I am right now finishing my 3rd record. It's being mixed, so it's almost completely done. And we kind of don't know what's going to happen when I have to start doing stuff for it again, but I'm hoping that we can continue to navigate it as long as possible, because I really do love being out with them. I love everybody, the crew, the band is like the best group of people.
Yeah.
Not a single ounce of drama, like just so fun and awesome. And I love his new record that comes out. Is it June already? This month? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
comes out this month. And the new songs are fun. And I've just really, and then sometimes I sing my stuff on the road too, which is fun. And he lets me do that. So yeah, it's been interesting and we'll just continue to navigate it, figure it out.
Yeah. Now this is going to come out, right? This is going to come out the week you're here. So not this coming Tuesday, the following Tuesday.
Okay.
And so I know this will be out before I think the album drops, and I have to know, and you don't have to get into detail, but how is the collab with Kojo?
I haven't heard that actually. They did that part after. So,
Oh,
yeah, I haven't heard
okay.
it. They were just talking about it the other day. Some of the other guys were like, "Have you heard it yet? Have you heard it?" I haven't heard it, so I can't even spoil it for you.
Because if there's like anybody that like I am obsessed with, and this sounds bad, I shouldn't say that, but like Kojo is like my number one.
Really?
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
think he was hosting CMA Fest, right? Was that he?
I don't know. I don't know. When it I'm a CMA member, but when it comes to like all that stuff, I'm so far away that it's just
Yeah.
I watch from afar.
Yeah. We did that last night, and I didn't get to see many people, but I'm pretty sure he was one of the hosts.
Yeah. How was it?
It was super fun. It's the first time I played Nissan, which is the stadium in Nashville here, and so that was really cool because I've been there a bunch of times for Titans games and music and whatever else. And I was saying it's really strange to play a venue like that in your hometown because then I just came home and was like, "Hey, cat."
Right.
Normally, you like get on the bus, you get out. It feels more like you're out on the road. This time it was just like, "Hey," and then bye.
So like, all right. So there's a question, right? So how is that? Like, do you just drive your car to the stadium and be like, "Hey, I'm playing tonight. Let me park
Yes.
here," kind of deal?
Literally, you go. They have like a place where you pick up your passes. They give you a little pass for one of the lots, and then I just got my passes, went and parked in the lot, walked into the stadium. We were there like all day though because we had to sound check pretty early. It's because they do part of it televised, so like a couple of the songs were recorded for TV. So there's like a lot more prep than I would say like a normal show.
Sure.
And then I got scared to leave again because the traffic is so bad during CMA Fest. So I just sat there all day and was like, I'm just going to wait.
Right. Right. So
Yeah.
could you have sound checked, went home, and then gone back later in the day?
Yeah, that's what we were planning on doing. But also the other thing that happened was it was storming yesterday, and so
Yeah.
we were supposed to sound check at like 11, and we didn't do it until like 4:30 or something crazy.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so actually I ended up running home, getting all my stuff and bringing it back so that I could get ready there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when I saw you, Parker had told a story about how he like I don't want to say discovered you because I don't think that's fair, but like ran into you or whatever. Like, is that a true story?
Well, what was the story? I don't know.
It was something along the lines where like he I don't know, he had saw you and then like begged you to go on the road.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so basically, I guess he had, well, first of all, I sang on his record, and I hadn't met him at that point. I'm trying to think of the timing of that. That was after he asked me to go on the road with him, though, I think. And so, yeah, he had heard some of my music, I guess, and I don't know how I got initially brought up or anything, but apparently he had been looking for a while for someone to sing, and then someone was like, mentioned me, and he was like, "Do you think she would do it?" Like, he like hadn't even considered that I might do it. And so, like I said, Enzo called, and then I think told him, yeah, she's like, we'll talk to you about it. And he was like, yeah, it was a very sweet phone call, and he was very flattering, and definitely made me want to do it even more.
Yeah. Now, so before all this Parker stuff and all that, you had mentioned that you have two albums. When did you start? Because don't worry, I told you, I promised you we were going to get into it. We're gonna, but we gotta let it go a little bit longer. But when was the first album? When did the first album come out?
So the first album came out in 2016, I think, which was a
Okay.
one. Yeah, I've taken like 4 years at least in between each record. It's a longer span than probably most people do these days. But I don't know. I like to live, and there's also all kinds of behind the scene things that take
Sure.
time. But yeah, so my first record came out in 2016. My second record came out 2020, like a month before the pandemic, which I know a lot of artists had that happen.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we didn't even get to tour it or anything. And then I put a record out with my friend Jade Jackson. We made a little side project called Jackson Sellers, and that was super fun. Stuff was still kind of weird at that point because that was only a year after. It was 2021. But that was the last project that I put out. And then I started working on this like last year, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about it.
So in between all this time, right? What kind of touring were you doing? Were you doing any? Was it just kind of like a throw shit at the wall to see if it sticks?
So 2016 to 2020, I was touring a ton, like
Yeah.
a ton. In the Sprinter van out with tons of awesome artists. Like I opened for Miranda Lambert, Chris Stapleton, played lots of festivals. I got to play Bonnaroo, Stagecoach, like just, we were on the road all the time. And then, like I said, obviously 2020 hit, we had to stop. And I played some shows on the Jackson Sellers thing, but yeah, I think for me that when that whole thing hit, it was part of the introvert in me was like, I get to be at home and like I have an excuse to be at home all the time. Like this is kind of cool. But it was just kind of put me in a weird place career wise because I was like, I don't know, it just felt like a lull. It felt like the time where I should have been continuing to ramp up. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so
Yeah.
it did feel like a little bit of like a pause. And I do think that everything happens for a reason. And I think that this opportunity coming to me right now was not an accident. And like, I think everything's going to work out.
Right. Well, like, no, like seriously, because, I know we talk a lot about it and, you and I have talked a lot about it, about being on the road with Parker, but like for you as an individual, like that is huge, because it's not like this is going to sound douchey, but like you're not just a backup singer to him, and he makes it very clear on stage that you're not just a backup. You know what I mean? Like he calls you out where it's
he's been super supportive. Like I said, letting me sing, and then saying blatantly like we're so happy to have her on the road.
Yeah.
Like she has her own career, and that's been really awesome of him to do that because I have noticed like people are streaming, people are like people are going to look up my music as if I were opening, so
Right.
it's really cool because of that. But also I just genuinely love his new record, and I'm having fun doing his music. I really am.
Yeah. Now, now, is it a lot to learn? Like, even though you have your own stuff, and then you're like, oh shit, now I got to learn all this other stuff.
Yeah, I'm notoriously bad with remembering lyrics, so it takes me a minute. I was really nervous, like I said, because I haven't done this before. I mean, obviously, I've sang harmony a lot on records and stuff, but not on the road like this, where I had to learn someone else's whole show.
Sure.
So like I was really nervous because I didn't know anybody. I didn't know one on the tour. I knew none of these people. And I just didn't know how intense it was going to be, or how strict, I guess, they were going to be with getting everything just right, whatever. So when I first got the set list and everything, I like ran it, like I just really drilled it just to make sure I had everything. And like I was super nervous, and I got out there and it was like so chill. I was like, I probably didn't have to be that intense.
Right.
But we just had to do that again, not as much because we still play some of the older songs, but we just had to learn the new record. And we did music rehearsals and in Austin for like a week. And then now we're doing production rehearsals here in Nashville, which is where, I mean, I'm sure people know, but it's where you like do all the lights and the video and you run the whole show. And yeah, that part's been fun. It's fun for me because I toured, even though I opened for big artists, like my own show and everything was on a smaller scale. So it's very cool to be out with someone bigger like this and just see how the whole operation runs. And like I said, the people, he just creates a very good environment on the road.
Yeah.
Like it's, I don't know. I truly keep saying like, how did this fall into my lap? Like I feel very blessed.
Yeah. No, I mean, and like from all accounts, right? Even though, Parker's had radio hits and all this stuff, like we dabble more into the Texas scene a lot.
Yeah.
And, we know a lot of people that know or knew him while he was coming up through that scene. And like some of the story, one of these days when this is all over, I might just write a book because, like the stories I could tell that I don't,
Yeah.
are super fascinating, to me. Right.
Yeah.
And like to hear about him when he was coming up and how he was, and like hearing it from you, it's like, it's not like much has changed. It's not like that stardom has changed him.
Right.
I
Oh,
mean, it changes you. I don't care who you are, right? But it
yeah.
doesn't, to the effect that it could have.
Oh, absolutely. Like some people with much less success than him have much more go to their head, I guess.
Yeah. I think that was the nicest way that's ever been put on this show.
Yeah. No, he's totally so. What's the word? I don't want to say graceful. That sounds feminine, but
Humble?
he's so. Yeah, like humble and just great at handling things, better than even difficult things. Like he does things the way that they should be done, and
Sure.
Instead of taking the easy way out, I guess, with things. And that's really awesome. He treats everybody super well.
Now you're talking about, the production side and getting ready and all that. Now, how different is getting ready for a tour with him from what you guys are doing opening for George Strait?
Oh yeah. Well, it's a shorter set, obviously.
Sure, yeah.
And we're not playing only the new songs that are out. But yeah, it's different because we're playing in the daytime. It's still light outside. They're stadiums. Parker plays arena, so they are a little bit bigger venues. Right now, I'm sure he'll be playing stadium soon.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's fun. I will say, like, I'm not sure how he feels as an artist. For me, when I was opening for people, I always felt a little bit like they're not here to see me.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think he does a good job of like being himself and doing the same show, but also tailoring it to the fact that like we are the first band playing. It's us and then Chris and then George.
Right.
And so it's cool. Like I said, I like watching him navigate stuff because I'm like, like I feel like I'm learning things.
Right, and I'm sure that helps you out too. Like
absolutely.
Like, all right, I want to do this. I don't want to do that. You
right.
know, that's something.
Yeah. But, you know, when I go play my shows, I won't be having full production, at least not at the beginning.
Now, you know, as an artist, right? When you do your own headlining shows and all that, and like people are coming to see you, and then you do those opening slots. Like, how does that hit the ego at all?
For me, I am very in my head, and I've gotten way, way better about this, but I used to have horrible stage fright. So,
Really?
yes, really bad. I actually made a video about it on YouTube because I was like, if this can help anyone, then here's everything I did to get over it because it was rough. I mean, I'm talking like crying. Like, is
Oh,
that air too loud?
no.
Okay.
If you can hear it, I can't.
Okay.
But I'm also deaf, so it's fine.
Yeah, so anyway, opening for people always felt more nerve-wracking for me because I felt like you kind of feel like you have to win them over, I guess, or
Sure.
like don't want them to be bored, or
Right.
and especially when your music's not exactly like the person you're opening for, you're wondering like what they're thinking. I don't know, I'm very in my head about it, and I think it's good not to be that way, and so I've tried to kind of get myself out of that a little bit and focus more on just being myself, and you know, whoever responds to it and likes it, great. If they don't, then whatever. I'm not, you know, change their mind.
Right, absolutely. You know, because it's like, you know, we see shows all the time, right? And sometimes we do go to see whoever the openers or the direct support is more than the headliner, right?
Yeah.
And I've always found it fascinating when you see, you know, like this tour, you know, with George. It's like, you know, nothing against Parker or Chris, but they're not George. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, let's just call it as it is, right? But like, you have three headlining acts in the same night.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I know.
and it's
That's what's wild to me for
right.
sure. Yeah, because these are such big shows, but like you said, like Parker's a headliner. I mean, he's big at this
Right.
point, you know, so it is kind of crazy, and that's what makes the show super fun too, is like the I guess caliber of everyone playing is so
Yeah.
awesome. Not that a regular opener wouldn't be as good, but you know what I'm saying, like they're
Yeah,
seasoned,
absolutely.
they're all like seasoned. um and so that part is really cool. And I will say, like, from even at Parker's opening shows for these, like, to see, you can kind of look out and see who is definitely a Parker fan, who's like singing all
Yeah.
his stuff, you know? So that's fun.
Now, when you do go on the road, whether it's by yourself, you know, as the headliner or opening these shows and whatnot, how much interaction do you personally have with the other people on the
Like the other artists.
yeah, thank you. Like when you guys were out with Lacey and Cameron,
Uh-huh.
like do you interact with them, or do you kind of just, you guys are just so focused on what you're doing that there's no time, you know?
We definitely interact with them some, but like you said, everyone's working, so it's not like we're all chilling all the time. But
Right.
definitely, like, I definitely talk to them. And Lacey did a song during Parker's set one time, and we learned that and did that with her. And yeah, all the openers that we've had out have been super cool. I've met all of them and had a little bit of hang time with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you might just run into each other in catering or something like that.
Right. You know, I love telling this story, and like I when we saw her open for you guys, like I texted her. I don't know if it's the same number I have, but like she was the first person I ever did tequila shots with.
Really?
Yeah.
That when?
Oh, this is a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like,
she had come through and did like a headlining show here up in our area, and we had her on the podcast, the whole nine yards, and we were talking about whiskey and stuff, and she's like, "I'm a tequila girl," and I was like, "Ugh, can't do it." And then we got into the venue, and she's like, "This is how you have to do it," and like I was like, "All right," and then I haven't done it since, but
you're like, just that one time.
yeah, just that one time.
I'm not big on tequila either, but
No.
I do like Lacey. She's really sweet.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
like her music too.
yeah. She was great, and but yeah, she, you know, and like she's another one that I think as time goes on, she's gonna be up there with everybody else.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's so crazy too, just how I was thinking this when we were at CMA Fest. Just seeing, it's very like busy. Obviously, you're coming across a lot of other musicians and artists you might know, whatever, running into people. And it is always interesting to see kind of who, I guess, you continue to see and who kind of goes away.
This
And,
is our, yeah.
it's just weird how stuff can circle back and all this kind of stuff. Like I saw
Yeah.
someone who I knew that used to play with Casey Musgraves, and now he's playing with, he might be your fave. His name's Harrison. He plays the steel. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Harrison Jones, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, just stuff like that. That's super cool. And then artists, same thing. Like, yeah, I hope she takes off because, and I think she is doing well, but yeah. She's really great.
Like I'm not kidding. Like I don't know. You can't see it, but I'll show you in 2 weeks. But I have a Kojo tattoo.
Oh, you do?
I do. I tattooed his logo on my upper arm.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I just got a random tattoo. So the other day on the road, Brady, the guitar player, was like, "I'm going to get a tattoo. Anyone want to go?" And I was like, "Sure." And I haven't gotten a tattoo since I was 19. See if I can show it from this angle. But I got a little Ace of Hearts.
What is there like a story behind it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I had been thinking recently, I kind of wanted, because I have two other ones. One that I got this one I think I was 19, and then one back here that I got when I was 18. But I'd been kind of wanting more and saving some pictures of ones that looked like this. And then I was like, I had kind of an idea of one, and then I just went and did it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's kind of like, I mean, you can't see mine too well, but like I have my boys' birthdays on here.
Aww.
And then let me see. I can see. Oh yeah, you can see it.
Nice.
And like, cause my tattoo artist is like, "Why do you want that?" I'm like, "Cause I fucking do. That's why." Like, I just put it on me. And yeah, like I started getting tattoos last year, and it's like I can't. It's almost an addiction.
Oh, you just started last year?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, it is funny because I was already like, now what other ones do I want to get to accent this one?
Yeah, like I have like this arm is gonna be all like country music stuff, and this arm's all family stuff, and
nice.
Yeah, it's like every time I get the itch, I'm like I need you almost need to feel that scratch. You know?
I've totally heard people talk about that. It's like, I think it probably releases endorphins or something.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's definitely a dopamine hit. That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah. So let's I feel like I've given us enough time here. We have to talk about the elephant in the room, or at least the elephant in the room to me. What made you want to do this? Was it because of your growing up situation?
I like how you won't say it. You're just like, I'm going to let you say it.
I'm going to let you say it. Well, no, because honestly, and this is no bullshit, right? We've had all kinds of kids, grandkids, whatever, of the biggest and best, right? Like Jesse Keith Whitley and I are super close friends. Like we have Wade Jennings coming on eventually. We've had John Paycheck, Johnny's son. Like we've had people, right? And then when I saw your post on Mother's Day, I literally thought you were full of shit. I really did. I was like, there's no and right? I've been at this long enough, right? You do a wonderful job not, and I mean this in the best way, not exploiting that shit.
Thank you.
And I mean that. That says a lot about you.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I think I've had a really strong, and people handle this differently, so, however anybody wants to handle it, that's up to them. But for me, I felt a lot like I needed my own identity, I guess.
Sure.
And having a different last name also helps. So I will just say, I grew up in a musical household. My mom is Leanne Womack. My dad is a songwriter and singer named Jason Sellers, producer, and does everything basically. He used to play with Ben Skill and Ricky Skaggs and stuff when I was growing up. And then my stepdad is also a producer, and he did Parker's new record. And so, yeah, I grew up around the music business. I always knew that I would do something with music, but it wasn't my only thing. And once again, I felt like I needed to do some other things. So I went to acting school, and I got my degree in political science, and I just...
Me too!
You did?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Okay. I didn't finish it
That's why I run a
until
podcast and do
exactly.
other
We were really
things.
using it. It's funny too because I started mine like at the normal age, but then I didn't finish it until 2020 when everything shut down. I was like, well,
Sure.
might as well do this.
Yeah.
And so yeah. So anyway, growing up around music, it's just definitely in my blood. Like literally, I can't not do it because I love it. But I definitely had times when I was like feeling like I needed to, I guess, differentiate myself and just have an identity and not feel like and you know, my mom's had a lot of success, but there are even bigger artists, mega stars with kids. And, you know, I feel for them sometimes because of how hard I know it must be to like live in someone's shadow that way and not be able to, I guess, live up to the success that your parent has had.
No.
You know, on paper, you know.
Right.
So,
Like, do you feel that though?
I thankfully, I think my parents were, well, I mean, my dad is somebody who's incredibly talented and has had a very like, what's the word? Unconventional, I guess, path. And I think a lot of people in Nashville have this kind of thing where they, you know, they're playing in someone's band and they have a record deal. Then they're, you know, writing songs and like doing all this kind of stuff. So I guess I've been around every aspect of the music business versus just having like one parent who's a mega star singer.
Right.
And, you know, so that has helped me, I think, not view it so much as like, I have to have this much success in this way or I'm not like successful at music, you know?
Right.
And it's made me view it a little differently. So that's been a blessing.
Now, was there any point, you know, be it in your blood or not, was there any point that your parents were like, don't do this shit, like do something else?
No, they, I think they're very much like, let me live, like, let me make my own choices, you know? So that's really nice. The only thing I'll say my mom was like, no, was when I did acting when I was younger and wanted to fully like move to LA and do it. Like when I was a teenager, like a young teen. And she was like, no. And at the time I was like, pissed, you know, but I get it. And, you know, I think everything happens the way it's supposed to. So, but yeah, that would be the only thing that she was like, I don't think that's a good idea.
Now, I have to talk about it because I'm an asshole and I like to push. But, you know, I'm at an age where I think I might be a little older than you. And I remember like when I Hope You Dance came out and it was like, even if you didn't like country music, like everybody knew that song, right? Are you old enough to remember any of that?
Yeah, I do. I was about 8 when that came out. So
You said you were 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my sister was 1 or almost 1, not even 1 because she's 8 years younger than me. So she actually took her first steps on that video. That's not a joke.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So yeah. We were just talking about that the other day because I think it's like the 20th anniversary or something of it right now. Time. So yeah, I do remember it. I remember even like doing the video because I remember one of the things was they made it look like it was raining inside. Like they put rain and I was like, ooh, as a kid, you know. So just random little things like that I remember. You know, I don't remember everything, but I have little random memories like that.
Now, do you? So I mean, okay. So how do I say? Like, do you remember Mom's career before it like explodes?
Yeah. So a little bit. She used to homeschool me, so I would go on the road with her even before I Hope You Dance and all that came out. And she would literally get off the stage and then come on the bus and like she had a tackle box with like school supplies and we would do school. And I would say the first tour that I remember going on, it was probably a couple years before I Hope You Dance, and it was the George Strait tour because she had the same manager as George, and he used to do these big stadium shows with tons of artists, like, and multiple stages and stuff. I don't remember what the name of them the shows were, but she was on those. And so that's the first tour I remember going on. And what's crazy is now they're doing these shows with George. Like I've seen some of those people that are still with him, and they're like, hey, which is wild. But it's funny because one of the sponsors of those original shows when I was 6 was Nokia, and I got a free cell phone when I was 6. And my mom let me keep it because, you know, she's traveling. I'm not always with her and whatever. But one time, this is a random story, but I got this phone and she was like, okay, if you don't, she knew I wasn't going to go crazy on it, but she was like, this is to call me. Well, something happened with the bill and she got back this crazy cell phone bill. And it was like, did you use the phone all day, every day? What's going on? And I was like, no, I swear, I only called you. And then she ended up getting it sorted out and figuring out that my actual cell phone bill was 69 cents or something like that, 80 cents or something crazy.
And she wanted to blame you.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have blamed you too.
But yeah, some of those people are on the tour with us now, which is super cool.
Now, do they remember you from being that? Yeah.
Also, I actually don't know what his job is on the tour now with George, but he was my mom's tour manager for a long time. And then also one of her old guitar players is playing guitar with George. So, and I was friends with his daughter when we were little. So just little things like that is super cool. And
it's it's almost like a family reunion.
Yeah, it's been very cool. And just
that's awesome.
Yeah. It's a weird thing because I literally haven't seen some of them since I was a child.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, now when you started, right, were you worried about the link between you and mom and have you actively tried to stay away? I don't want to say stay away from mom as much as possible, but
yeah.
Like I said, you do a great job not
Thank you.
making it don't you know who my mom is? You know what I mean?
No, I always try to be delicate too because I'm I don't want her to get offended and think I'm
sure. Right,
I don't know her. But it's not like that. It's just that, like you said, yeah, I did. I specifically remember mentioning to everyone when my first record came out, I don't want every interview I do to be about this. I don't want, and there were a couple times when somebody made the headline, something about that, and it's just other artists they get to be themselves.
Right.
They get to, you know what I mean? It feels a little bit like I don't get to stand on my own, or whatever. And that was frustrating to me more so, I think, even when I was first starting. Now I feel hopefully, and you've pointed out, that I've done a fairly good job of keeping it, separate enough.
I mean, because you do. Like I said, I would have never known. Never.
It's funny too, and people have said too, I've listened to you for years and I didn't know,
Right.
And so that's cool because it does make me feel okay, people like my music and like me as a human being, and I don't have to feel like it's just because of this,
Right.
So that is, I guess, soothing to my ego or my soul or one or the other.
I mean, it should, because it also makes your stuff stand out on its own. It's not, it's not I hate to say it this way, but it's not a knockoff or, or imitation, and but when you're writing songs and putting songs together, do you stop and be shit, this sounds too much like mom, or this sounds like too much something dad's done before,
The thing is, for me, our voices are so similar that it's
hard to
kind of, there's nothing I can do about that.
Right, sure.
But our music taste is a little different, so that part has been easy to differentiate for me. The only thing I've done where I would say sounds close-ish to her would be a country song that I did with someone else. It was a Christmas duet that came out this past Christmas, and it was a super throwback country thing. It was actually a George and Tammy song off their Christmas album. And that, to me, just because she's always leaned a little more traditional country, sounded the most like her. But that wasn't really my project, so I just kind of I had fun doing that because I was like, this is a fun thing to play, but this isn't really the type of music that I record normally. And I think I'm a lot more rock oriented. I mean, she doesn't really listen to any rock at all.
Right.
So that's one thing that is very different about our music, and that's just like a natural thing.
So I guess this begs the question, right? And you've already answered it without even knowing what the question was going to be. Have you ever thought of covering one of Mom's songs? Like,
People
and it
ask
is
me, obviously, a lot. But no, I don't think so.
no,
I think it would make me feel too uncomfortable. Like,
yeah,
I don't want people directly comparing,
right,
like,
correct, yeah,
I
yep.
sang on her records and stuff, so people can hear what we sound like together and hear a little bit of the difference in our voice that way. But no, I don't think I could ever cover anything of hers.
But not even like you're putting your own spin on it.
I don't think so. Even
No?
though, like, she's recorded some amazing songs that I would love to cut. And I will say, even too, like, I even get wary of doing covers that she's done. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
because she even covers that she's put on her record or used to do live and stuff. I think, well, my mom used to do that all the time. I don't know if I want to do that. But that's a little maybe less whatever, because that's not an original song of hers. But
Sure.
I don't think I could.
Now, all right, we're not going to talk about Mom the whole time, but do you have a favorite of hers?
Oh man. Well, I'm a huge Buddy and Julie Miller fan. I don't know if you know who they are. And she cuts a bunch of their songs. I don't want to say a bunch, but she's cut some of their songs, and so that combination is a favorite of mine. And also, like, the era that I think some people kind of overlook, which was her she kind of had like a little bit of a rock edge on Something Worth Leaving Behind, that record. And Does My Ring Burn Your Finger and those kind of songs. Yeah, I have a lot. I like her. I think she's great.
Yeah, well, because it's like,
she's a great singer and she picks great songs.
right. And I talk about I Hope You Dance all the time, like, not even here, but like, because when that song came out and was huge, right? I had to have been in either it was late middle school, early high school. I couldn't even tell you what year that song came out, but like, I can distinctly remember what life was doing, right? And it was in that time period where it's like, you know, as a kid or an early teen, where you think you're fall in love with that person for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? And it, like, you hear that song so many times when it's out and it's on the radio and all that stuff. And I don't know if honestly, I don't think I've listened to that song in probably 15 years, but if you put it on right now, you bet your ass I know every word to it.
Totally. And like you said, I mean, it's not just a hit song, it's that it was tied to, like, people played it for graduations, people played it for dances, people played weddings. Like, it became such a big, I don't know.
It was bigger than just a song.
Yeah, like a memory song.
Right.
I don't know.
It's a life event
eloquent
song.
But yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Right.
And so I think that a lot of people, it's like, oh, that's my favorite song, or that's what I had my first dance to, or so it was such a big thing because of that. And then I actually remember, because I don't know the timing of this, but I remember they played it at one of my middle school dances and I was super embarrassed. Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't know what to
do. That's Aubre's bathroom song.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's too funny. That's awesome. But like, honestly, like, I I remember saying it to somebody and they were like, and they went to your Instagram, like, there's nothing. I'll say it all day long. Like, you do such a good job with not, like, it's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah. And like, I know that probably sounds super douchey of me to say, but like, whatever.
No,
Like,
I mean,
I don't have famous parents, so whatever.
Especially since, like, this whole Nepo baby thing has become such a trend lately. People hating on, like, being so harsh about it. So it's definitely, I don't know if it affects everyone the way as strongly as it affected me, as far as being like super needing to, I don't know, not hide from it, but just, differentiate myself. So I don't know if
Right.
everybody has that same reaction that's in that situation,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a sore spot, because just as an individual, I'm sure anyone can imagine this, even if your parents not in the music industry, like maybe they're popular in your town, or they're popular at something, whatever they do, and they can relate with the fact that you sort of don't want to live in someone's shadow in that way.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's the thing. But if there's a lot worse things to deal with in life.
That's true. That's true. And you know what? I appreciate you talking about it as much as you did, and do, but like it's like a catch-22, right? Because it's also partially my job to like, especially the way this podcast has always been, where it's like we like to push the envelope just enough to get it out.
That's okay. I think I'm good at handling stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Like so we had John Paycheck on a few weeks ago, and his management team was like, pretty much like, don't bring it up.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if you tell me not to, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
you know, and he was super gracious about it, and it just worked out.
Well, I'm sure he deals with that all the time.
Right.
But but the lighting is getting so weird in here. I look like I'm in the X-Men.
So, like, what happened? Oh, you must. Oh, I get it.
It's just the sun. But here, let me just pull the shade on. But I remember my publicist. Sorry, I'll say this when I sit down. I remember my publicist was like, "We can't get people to like not say anything, But
Right.
But you can still tell people like, we don't want this to be the focus. And then also, right. A trick you learn is if somebody won't stop talking about it, you can just bring it back around to whatever you're trying to talk about.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's definitely ways to shut us up. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So I'll just do it for you. So the album you're working on, or the next one to come out, do you have a timetable for it?
So I don't know about release yet, just because there's like some changes behind the scenes, label wise and stuff. The label that I was on, I think, is kind of, I don't want to say shutting down, but they're kind of slowing operations. So I'm trying to find a new home for it. And that will take, I don't know. I hope as quickly as possible.
Now, is it done?
It's almost completely done. Like,
okay.
There's just like 2 more songs that have to be mixed. So that part of it will be done soon. And I've already got, it's a very, I guess, thematic album. And, so the direction of it creatively and everything, not just the music, but everything around it, the video and whatever, visuals and stuff is pretty clear. So all of the creative stuff is pretty much done and won't take time to put together. It's just the logistics of it at this point.
Yeah, the business side of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everyone's favorite part.
Yeah. No, so when are you going to start releasing some of it? Like, are you going to do singles off of it, or are you just going to throw it out?
Yes, I am. I'm so sorry.
Sorry. You don't have to be sorry. This is what this show's about.
Scratching. Okay, get out, sister. Yeah, so yeah. What was the last question you asked me? Sorry.
Whether or not you're going to do singles or just put it all out at once.
Oh, right. Absolutely, I'll do singles. I want to get it out as quickly as possible. So, and ever since I left Warner, I've been pretty cautious about giving my masters away. So I've kind of done hybrid deals since then, and so that gives you a lot more freedom as far as when you release stuff and where to slot things. So it shouldn't take too long. Sure. But I'm eager to get it out just because I've been working on it for a while and I haven't put something out in so long. And I'm sure a lot of artists say this, but by the time sometimes the music comes out, you made it so long ago that you're already ready to make something else, Right.
So oh, yeah.
I'm definitely eager to get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much stuff do you, like, how many songs will be on this album?
It's 11.
11? What? You're not going to do 37?
11's actually the lowest number I've ever done. My
Really?
first record had 14. I think my second record had probably also 14 or somewhere around there. So yeah, this is smaller for me.
So how did you settle on that?
I think it just is a process of listening to what my favorite songs are that I've written during that time. This particularly, I won't say too much about it, but came together as far as the theme thematically. And so it was kind of like what fits within this. I have some other
Yeah.
songs that I would love to record that just didn't fit on this record. And so, yeah, it was just a matter of, and sometimes in the past, especially, like I'll get in the studio with a longer list of songs and then we'll start playing one and I'm like, this just isn't working. Like it's just not fitting like I wanted it to, or we have something else that's too similar, you know? So, it's just a process of elimination and also what lights you up the most.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I love when people I talk to come out with new stuff, so I can't wait.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But yeah, so keep us posted on everything and when everything's coming out. And I hope that you're not too busy when you're here on now that we're talking on Saturday. You'll be here. That we
Oh
can
yeah,
say hello in real life and
absolutely.
all
I'm
that
sure
because
we'll have time. Yeah. I
yeah,
have a lot
we're
more downtime on this tour than I normally do.
yeah, and I think our seats are on the floor, so
Okay.
that
I'll
makes
be able
things
to
a lot
look at you
easier.
while we're playing.
Yeah,
Really.
I'm gonna have my sign.
Yes.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
There's
It's
so
fine.
many things. There's so many things people are doing that I've never seen before, like using their phones to do signs and stuff. That's new. They weren't doing that the last time I was out.
What?
Yeah.
I saw a video once of Parker on stage, and he had taken some kid's Zin tin from him and popped one in. And I'm like, I want to do that.
I told him, I was like, "Are you not scared? You're gonna get like,
Right? Like,
I don't
no,
know, something in there." And he was
no.
like, he said, "I always make sure they're sealed." Yeah.
I mean, it's true. It's true. Like I said, we have a lot of friends that know Parker well, and you're, I don't know, I'm just a fucking podcaster, but like, you're in really good hands.
No, absolutely, I am.
You know,
You're right.
I know I've been at this for a while now, but like, it still doesn't feel real, and I can only
That's
imagine
cool.
how it feels for you.
I mean, it seems like you've had a ton of conversations. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you'll be release number 302 or 303,
whoa,
depending. Yeah,
that's crazy. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I'm glad you're having fun doing it.
I mean, that's all. That's really all it is. It's just fun.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, we get to see all kinds of cool shows and talk to all kinds of cool people, and like some of the people I've gotten to talk to, like still, like I could go back and listen to it and or watch it.
Yeah, you're
Still
like,
doesn't make
wow.
sense, right?
That's
It's like, how did that happen?
yeah.
But I I just like to shoot the shit. There's no pressure. You know, there's no
Well,
holding
you're
the
good
feet to
at
the
it.
fire unless you're talking about your mom and you don't want to. This.
You're doing
But
much better than I would. I'm not like, I feel like I don't know. It's a difficult thing to just be, I don't know, conversation is a skill and you have
it
it.
is. It you it is, and you're absolutely right because this is one of those things. It's like being a musician. Like you either have it or you don't.
Hmm.
Like you can either hold conversation or you can't.
Right, right.
And trust me, there's been people on that side of it that can't.
Yeah, like one word answers.
Yeah, yeah. Those are
Yeah.
brutal. Those are brutal.
Yeah.
Where it's like, can you just like give me something, anything? Like, what's your
Dead
favorite
space.
color for Christ's sake? Like,
That's funny.
yeah. But thanks for being here. Tell people how to follow you, keep track of you, the whole nine
Yes.
yards, and
Yeah. Everything is at Aubrie Sellers, and I spell it Aubrie. I always say that because people don't know. And just any streaming app, whatever, Spotify, Apple Music, all my stuff's on there. Aubrie Sellers, and then if you want to listen to the side project, that's Jackson Sellers.
Nice. Well, we will see you Saturday,
Thank
and
you.
I honestly I can't wait.
Yay!
I've never seen Stapleton,
Oh, you're
and
in
I've never
for it.
seen
Yeah.
the King.
Really?
Yeah. So the last time George was here, um, my dad, my dad's adopted, and he found his sister. So the week she was here was the same week he was here.
Whoa.
So I was like, well, I can't really,
Yeah.
and on that tour, Cody Johnson opened,
Oh
like before anybody
no.
even knew who Cody Johnson was.
Were you already
So,
a fan of him
yeah,
at that time? Wow.
yep.
Yeah, that was
I
big for you.
was,
You
I
missed
was,
that.
I was pissed. I was
But
pissed.
you're gonna love it. Like I was saying the other day, like the Chris show. I mean, it's like obviously he has new music and stuff, but it's like the same thing as when we were out. Like he's just been consistently awesome the whole time.
Yeah,
So it's great. And I watched him the other night. It was really good. So you're gonna
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, I can't wait. I honestly, I can't wait. Like I've wanted to see George Strait for God years and years.
Yay! I'm so
But like
glad.
he's one of those artists. Even though he's the king, right? This market's tough. Especially for like real country music, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's really tough.
Yeah. I don't know how people are still touring, but they're doing
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, you're
So
gonna love it. I'm excited for
yeah,
you.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm gonna be like a little kid in a candy store for
Yeah.
the whole time. Like look at all this fun.
Yay.
Oh,
Okay,
well,
well,
Aubrey.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah, yeah. I look forward to it. I'll shoot you a message on Saturday, and
Awesome.
we'll have a I don't know, a soda or something.
Okay.
All right. All right. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye. Well, there you have it, everybody. Our conversation with Aubrie Sellers. Things in there you didn't know, right? Right? I'm telling you, man. She is the coolest thing that's come out of Nashville, and it was nice to talk about her parents. It was nice to talk about her mom. I know I probably beat that a little bit to death, and I'm sorry, Aubrey. In hindsight, I should have let it go a little earlier, but I'm like the '90s kid in me, early 2000s kid in me needed to know more. And you're very gracious, and I appreciate that more than you'll ever know. Look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Hopefully, we didn't scare you off too much, and we can grab a drink and whatever, hang out. Um, we did see Dalton and the Sheriffs at Off the Rails with Nate Ramos on Friday night. Great time always with them. That review will be out on our website shortly. And we went and saw Colson and Dell at Indian Ranch for Father's Day. So that review will be out too soon. So thanks for being here. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. If you haven't already gone to check out the Mandy True episode, go check her out. She's cool. She's great. She's doing her thing out in Nashville too. Um, you know what? Now that I think about it, an Aubrie Sellers Maddie True collab would be money in the bank. Wow, this would be so good. So check them out. Appreciate y'all for being here. We might do more additional episodes in the next couple of weeks. Usually it's once a week, but I got my feet to the fire with some people, so um, thanks for being here, and we will see you next time. You probably next Tuesday. So check us out. Again, Aubrey, thank you from the bottom of my heart. We will see you on Saturday. If you're in the New England area and you haven't gotten tickets to go see the King and Parker and Chris Stapleton, go do that. It's going to be a show you're not going to want to miss. So, till next time, guys, be good to each other. We'll see you next time. Cheers.